Welcome back, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Hello, hello. I'm It's too early in the morning to be on it. 12 o'clock. It's almost noon. Work done today. How are you doing today? Doing well. It is Wednesday, December 14th. It is time for the free draw and the viewer suggestion. If not had a chance to suggest your D&D character today, I would highly suggest you do so now on the community page. Compile the list. Actually, don't do it on the community page. Just put it here in the chat. That way we can get it on the list. Great. And we'll toss some stuff today. We have a good list. It's going to be a good day. I think it's going to be a good day. I need to talk properly and not mumble through my teeth, which I am wont to do. We got some music today, which is good. I hope I have all the Pretzel Rock stuff figured out, otherwise YouTube's gonna get pissed off at me. We'll see what happens. But here we are. Here we go. Let's get some rugbies drawn today. You know? The little boy in the corner. Yeah. Tiny Wendigo is pretty funny. I like him. I'll probably make a little animation for it. Throw it up on TikTok. Who knows? Little skelly boys. Looks like it might just be me and you, Bionic, today. How are you today? How are things going? It is Wednesday, right? Did I screw up my days? I hope it's Wednesday. Because we're doing this. Can't be stopped now. Do you think elves have bells on their hats so they don't attack other elves? Like cats? Protect the birds? Are elves tiny predators? Is that what's going on? Saving the penguin population? I don't know if there's penguins in the North Pole. It's a woe day. Yeah. It's getting close to Christmas, which is fun, but the D&D schedules and the busyness of everyone is palpable. Should I give Rugby little curly shoes instead of weird goblin feet? Tis the season for pointy shoes. Oh, jeez. Threw my pen. I think it's something I was saying. That could be the case. It doesn't lose them in the... Just in case they sneak into the toy bag. Get trapped under a reindeer. shading in here. Logan Cole, hello, hello. How's it going today? We're warming up here before we start jumping into the viewer suggested drawings. Warming up with a little Santa rugby. Well, I guess it's a Christmas rugby. You need like a candy cane. There we go. He's too focused. We gotta really let the eyes go wild. Should give him little rosy cheeks. There we go. That's a Christmas rugby if I've ever seen one. We're doing another festive rugby fan drawing this year. We could. That could be fun. I would love to see people draw a Christmas rugby. Not sure what we do this year for it. Forgot we did that last year. Draw in your style Christmas rugby. We could post that later. That could be fun. I've seen some pretty horrifically drawn rugbies, though. Like, for some reason, when I ask other people to draw him, they draw him as like an eldritch being. Which is, you know, it's not totally wrong. It's just not what I expect. Never what I expect. He is just vague enough for it to be not strange. Oh boy. How do feet do? Alright. I think that's a good warm-up. I think we're ready. So the way this works for people who are just now jumping in is I have a list of all of the suggestions so far from the community post. If you have a suggestion you'd like to add to the list, let me know in the chat. We'll add it to the list. I'm going to roll a d20, and whichever is the dice gods command me draw, I will draw. And that's how we do this. That's how it's gonna go. And yeah, so buckle in. Here we go. I'm going to roll the dice. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. All right, we're gonna roll 17. An Otterfolk Barbarian. That's a good way to start the day. It's a good, solid way to start the day. Also, I got to unsubscribe from your channel. What? That's strange. Resubscribe, I suppose. Resubscribe. Make some comments. I have not seen a drop in subscriptions, so it might be a visual bug. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's very strange. Hope YouTube's not doing one of its weird poop things that it do from time to time. All right, Otterfolk Barbarian. You done drawn too many peen-shaped objects, like I'm about to do for this Otterfolk. That's how otters look. Otters are giant water noodles. They've got weird round little heads and it's adorable. Should I make him super buff? I feel like maybe not. I feel like maybe Otter Barbarian don't need to be buff. Iron Tummy. Long boy. Yeah, they gotta be long boys. Look at the sass. Look at the sass on this one. I did not mean to do that, but you know, it is what it is. No, I don't always choose the amount of sass that a character is going to have when I draw them. It's up to the dice gods. The dice gods and the walk on board. What kind of tablet do you have? Oh yeah, I got a walk on board. Just it's a big old board. What should we do? There was not a lot of description on this. It was just Otterfolk Barbarian. So we have run of the process. I don't want to give him like a big old axe. Maybe it's too big. But like you don't care. You don't care. You got little people hands. You can't be bothered with regular sized weapons. You want to go buff. That's a demonetization shaped object. Yeah, exactly. My damn wizard has a plus 11 to perception, and he's average at 15 perception checks. That sucks. That is a bummer. I feel your pain. I made a dragoon fighter. He had a spear and he just jumped around a whole bunch, and he had like plus. I think at the end he had like plus 15 or so to athletics, and so I'm like, yeah, he'll always pass athletic checks, and I constantly rolled like 2s and 3s and 1s. It's just like, why? This is the thing that I'm supposed to just be real good at. Come on, game, like, be cool. To be fair, like with that much of a bonus, right? Like you're above average anyways, unless your DM's like, oh, net ones, you suck. But big floppy noodle feet. Do otters have noodle feet? I don't remember what otters look like. Taito, hello, hello. See if we can find a good otter picture. You got these really long. Like their forearms are long, but they're like attached to the body. That's all I can say about it. He got its long internal arms. Collarbones are up here, and they're like, yeah, what up? How does he swing that axe? Nobody knows. No one ever survives to tell the tale. Tell the tale? There we go. Tell the tale. Oh my gosh, words. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. We'll have to give this axe a name. We'll call it like the Clam Smasher. That doesn't sound appropriate. Clam Annihilator. It's not better. It's not better. Clam of Attack. I don't know if I want these pants like that. Make him a little chunk. Have his belts meet the fur. Rookbrain.exe sometimes need to boot cycle. Yeah. Yeah, mouth when mouth is running, mouth don't brain connect well. God, I tried to say that joke and it just didn't almost come out. It almost just didn't happen. Anybody have any fun plans for the season? Any one-shots set up? Any cool Christmas vacation spots? I should put up the tree today. I was gonna do it last weekend. It just didn't happen. Got too busy. Got too busy. I've made the ears a little too pointy, methinks. Otters having tiny round ears is kind of their trademark. There we go. That looks better. Gotta get that muscle going. Get them big derpy whiskers. Barbarian of the Iron Whisker. Bonus to perception check. Might do a one shot. That's exciting. the best D&D Christmas character to play in a one-shot? Christmas elves are fun. I like the idea of Christmas elves. Just my usual game on Saturday. Nice. The guy who wants... That's good and bad, in my opinion. Like, one-shots are great to, like, try something out. But really what it should be, in my mind, is all one-shots should be trying out a character. So I hope it's fun. I hope it's fun and you like it. I can't commit to a campaign. Yeah, and that's kind of the downside to it. It's like, play a one-shot, try out a character. If it's super fun, you can find time, keep playing that character. But I'm a big believer in keeping a character and finding a campaign. I think that's a lot more fun. Making a character that you can kind of bring with you all over the place is really good. Oh my goodness, otter feet looks so funny. They're not meant to stand up. Otters are not meant to stand up. Oh, whoop. They just look really funny. All right, what can we do to make this more barbarian-ish? Should we give him a helmet? Maybe some tattoos? Can he have, like, body tattoos? That would be awesome. Oni, hello. Fear me, I have arrived. Well, I fear no man, so. No one, I guess I should say. I'm sad we can't use man for human, because it feels much better to say. But it is not the correct term. Words have meaning, damn it. It makes me sad. It did say otter folk, so I think I can give him a thumb. I think a thumb is allowed when it's an otter folk versus just being an otter. You know? Like, I'm gonna make him a little beefier. There's comical skinniness, and then there's that can't physically hold an axe. So let's go that way. Go in that direction. Maybe we should give him a big pauldron. That could be fun. I'm a big fan of the single pauldron. Did the stream just reset for anybody? Is YouTube just like taking a poop today? Is that what's going on? I hope not. The audio is bad. What? YouTube, get your shit together. How's it doing? Does everyone hear me? Is the music too loud? Is the music too not loud? Is streaming the music maybe breaking the stream? Not lagging, I hope. Nope, I don't like that shoulder pad. No, I've lost the shoulder. I want to make him a little more barbarian-esque, and I'm not sure how to do that. We could just give him a big tattoo, like a chest tattoo. That could be fun. Maybe he needs like a helmet. Put a tiny helmet on him. That could be funny. Little Viking helmet. What if he's wearing like a skull on his head? That'd be great. Yes, okay. New video came out yesterday. I hope everybody saw that. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. There's a link below. Post your favorite type of bagel in the comments. Win a bagel. Make myself laugh. My own jokes. You can't hear the music at all. Oh no. I've just been sitting here chatting at myself. Hold on. Beep, beep. How's that? My favorite bagel comes from cheese or meat. And yeah, that's fair. Bagel sandwiches are really good. I love me a good turkey avocado bagel sandwich. Turkey bacon avocado. Oh, so good. So good. I'm a big sucker for just like plain cream cheese though I haven't had one in a long time because of cheese. So that's a thing. Let's give him some sweet, sweet tattoos, and then we'll call it a day. How's that sound? What does a good barbarian tattoo look like? I love making swirls. Swirls are my fave. I also like the bands. Let's just do bands. Bands are nice and nondescript. Monster Hunter. People were getting tattoos for the monsters they've slain. I like that idea. We'll give him a few on his tail too. Skulls. Yeah. How many things I confess never have eaten? It seems like I just don't eat. Yeah, you know, I feel like that sometimes. We went out to a week or two ago. We went up to Leavenworth, just like a touristy town here in Washington, and we got there and we went to like it's a Bavarian town, so there's lots of like I would say sausage shops, but that's not right. Bratwurst, I guess. And I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. I want the cheese plate, and I want this, and some meat. And I was like, I shouldn't eat any of this. This all is bad for me. But I'm like, I want to eat. I want to eat all of these things. And people are like, we go somewhere else. I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like, I want to eat here. I just, like, I shouldn't. I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. And it was great. It was really good food. I love sauerkraut. Sauerkraut's great. Jonas had it right. I think that's probably good for the otter barbarian. For those of you just joining us, if you have a D&D character you'd like to see drawn, let me know. Put it on the list. Roll the dice, see if it gets drawn. That's how the rules work. Do bandit otter. I like it. Give him a little lip tattoo. Yeah, I dig it. I've eaten most everything. Even roo? Like kangaroo? Moose, snake, and eel. Still have got porcupine or bat, though. Have I eaten porcupine? That sounds like something I might have done. But I couldn't tell you for sure. The pickiest eater on the planet. I'm not eating it. That's funny. I've never tried pickled squid, but I have had squid jerky. That's really good. And I've eaten like calamari and stuff. We used to get squid steaks. It's just like huge square chunks of squid for calamari strips. It's pretty good. Make like a squid steak sandwich. I've survived that for a good 20 years. I mean, if it works, right? You don't have to experience everything in life. The more you experience, the more you know. Alright. There we go. That's our barbarian. I'm gonna call that one good. Let's roll some dice. Six. A satyr, reborn grave cleric. High priestess. Okay. Kind of like plague sickness themed too. I like that. We got like a plague satyr. Ooh, I got a good idea for that. Okay. Plague satyr. I'm gonna do like a plague doctor type thing. Should I give her a mask? That could be pretty awesome. I was thinking maybe like a tiny mask. Up on her head, maybe. Like really big, bulky horns here. Okay, she's a cleric. I think a breastplate is appropriate. My pen has gotten too wide. I need to get the line art a little thinner. Might even just take this and do a draw over on it because I like the idea. Not happy with the shape. Adam, hello. In other news, I'm having my practical driving test tomorrow. Nice, congratulations. Best of luck. I hope you pass with flying colors. The final worth 80% of my grades soon. Do STEM. It's not worth it. What? Or do it. Yeah, we need more. We do. We definitely do. They serve as ink pasta at primary school. It was really good stuff. Yeah, the weird thing about like the ink pasta is like it looks weird. It doesn't actually add anything to the flavor. It's very strange. At least I don't think it does. But it could just be the pasta. Like I think flour is the biggest thing. You know what? I think I am going to do it this way. Cleric's wearing medium armor now? I don't remember. Who's one to wear? Go ahead, sorry.
I said, what is it?
This is a plague cleric satyr.
Interesting.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just gonna go real high collared breastplate and go from there. How are you doing, Corvus?
Alright. Just a very wet and chilly day today.
Yeah. It says it's supposed to snow for the next like week and a half here. See what happens, but
no snow here. For now.
Did you get all your wood chopping done?
Yeah. For now, because it's raining, we got last night. We got another load of wood. So, but we can't split because it's just wet. Everything is wet.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, I don't know how to draw hips.
Did they lie to you?
No, my hips don't lie. Jump Rope is playing a Satyr Blood Hunter right now. And I always think that her character is a cleric, which is bad because I'm the DM, and so it's like, shoot. I really like. Go ahead.
No, you just got really quiet there for me.
Oh,
on my end, so I didn't hear what. I heard Satyr Blood Hunter. That was it.
I just realized Rook is the complete contrary of the stereotypical D&D player. I mean, I don't know about that. I play a lot of human fighters. Like, the Plague Doctor.
That's pretty contrary.
Yeah. What if the Plague Doctors were like the prototype of furries? Oh, completely contrary. Do I not understand what that word means?
Contradictory.
Okay.
The opposite.
Yeah, contrary to beliefs would mean opposite of those beliefs, right? So am I completely backwards to normal players because I play the basic stuff? Is that what you're saying? I could see what that means. I get that. Look at Joe. Hello. Yeah, human fighter's the best.
See, the only time I see people bring out humans is when they're doing like character builds, and it's almost always the variant human because they get a feat at level 1.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I played a lot of humans, because I wanted the extra feat, because it let you really like customize a build. And so when you do things like try to make a Dragoon or want to do like a Captain America shield throwing build, having those extra feats are great. And in Pathfinder, it's even more so because the fighters just get a feat pretty much every level. That's their kit, is that they're just highly customizable. So Love that about them. My name is Smith, son of Smith, the village of Smith, Smith's grandson of Smith. I play more than one edition of D&D, which turns out very rare. Oh, okay. Played more. Saying that how to cook. I'm saying you know how to cook, you know how to draw. You aren't the 80s 16-year-old with squeaky voice. Yeah, I would say world traveled, but that's not true. I'm like Pacific Northwest traveled. I've lived much of my life, which is good. Hopefully I got a lot more left, but
Well, we're discussing satyrs and blood jump ropes characters.
yes, satyrs and blood hunters. When we designed the character, because like it was something we sat down and talked about, because we're like, okay, we're playing this campaign. Here's some options, and jump rope picked some stuff that I think worked really well for it. But she wanted to play it as a blood hunter, and I was like, okay, cool. So she's playing it a little bit like a the word I'm trying to say. She's following a religious rite. Like she's basically a paladin, but she's playing it as a blood hunter, trying to understand and reveal this old. It's the same thing I ran in one of my other games where they had this order of Saren Ray paladins that were kind of off the beaten path, and they went extinct, and no one knows why. And so she's trying to find that out. Long story short, demons, but but it's a cool idea. It's a cool idea, and I constantly think she's a paladin or a cleric.
Okay.
And it's like, I don't have any healing spells. And I was like, oh no, that's my bad. Yeah, satyrs are fun. Very Human is so busted. The most played race. Yeah, I mean, it is.
Followed by tieflings.
Tieflings, yeah, I think tieflings are flavorfully chosen the most, and people mechanically pick humans the most.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of other ways to break the game, but I think the variant human allows for the most power gaming to happen.
Yeah, a lot of character builds I'll see for D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Almost most of them are very inhuman.
Yeah.
Like, if they're like a thematic one, it gets a bit different. But like, I know a lot of times, like the guy who does a lot of character builds based on comic book characters, most of the time they are just human because most comic book characters are just human.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's like, okay, that can get slide.
Yep. I think really what I used to see in the past, especially with Pathfinder and like their advanced race guide and stuff, really what it was for a long time was the racial abilities were either so unique that it allowed you to break something, and so you would take that, or they just didn't have any flavor. They were just like, I could get the same thing by playing a variant human, have better stats, and just take a feat to take whatever that race has. And that I think is kind of the downside to really having like too many types of gnomes, you know? Because it's like, why would you be a gnome that loses some of its gnomish ability to gain dark vision when you could just either be a tiefling or be a human and take dark vision? So I don't know. I think it's a little strange, but it's never been a problem I've had, because I either pick the characters that are very, very skewed one direction, like the Trox, because they're just so strange and out there, or the monstrous Yuan-Ti, that it makes the variant human not look as interesting, because they have all that flavor built into them and you don't have to edit it. Or I just pick the variant human. And I think with Tasha's new system, it's kind of going that way anyways. And I really like it with Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's just like, pick something and then pick a heritage. And I was like, nice, I like it. So, on the rare occasion that I get to play an artificer based on the whole, any sufficiently advanced science is indistinguishable from magic. Yep, okay. Gotcha. That's why you're saying your name is Smith. Son of Smith, village of Smith. I like it. I think human is taken most also because it's a real race. People won't associate with something else. Has more opportunity and varieties. Yeah, people do like to go into a comfort zone, especially when people are learning D&D. They either want something that is wholeheartedly away from them, or they want something that is very close to them. So,
Yeah, my first ever D&D character that I played, not the one I made, but the first one I played, was a deep gnome. So I felt very called out when you were talking about deep gnomes. I was like, but the on-demand invisibility is kind of cool.
Yep. I can turn into rocks.
I mean, that is essentially what it is.
Yeah.
It's like rock camouflage. And if you take their special feat, they get like innate magic, like non-detection.
Mm-hmm. Which I think is really, really cool. They do. I really think it's supposed to be coming from the like meld with stone feature, which I think would be a cool just racial passive for them. Of like, as a move action, you can meld with stone, and then you are melded with that stone until you use a move action to leave the stone. I think that would make them really interesting. And if I played deep gnomes, that's generally how I would do it. Just like earth elementals that just kind of like earth glide. I probably wouldn't give them the super speed with it, but I really like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you mean about half speed?
Yeah, half speed, or even, like I said, normal speed it. But if you have to use your move action to actually exit or enter the stone, it would be less cheesable, I think.
Yeah.
I played enough humans in D&D second edition just because I wasn't a class level limiter. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So the non-detection, you can just is an at-will spell all the time that you can have, and then you can cast blindness, deafness, blur, and disguise self once per long rest.
Those are all really good.
4 spells.
Yeah, I miss the racial spells. I think those, like the drow having access to all the things, makes them very powerful. I really love it.
The way they have been doing the ancestry tag thing that they start bringing back in Monsters of the Multiverse thing kind of leads to me that they may be going in that direction of having like
I think so too
again.
Yeah, and I think Pathfinder does a really good job where it's just every few levels you get a racial feat. I think that's awesome. I think that's great. I give all my races a free feat, to be honest, because so many feats are mandatory for fun, and I don't want to force people to be variant humans. That's great. I think that's really smart. I generally try to convince people to take feats over like the +2 stat bonuses. And I think the stat bonuses should just be built into the feats if you're going to do it that way. But 5e, once again, is made to just be like, if you don't have to make it complicated, don't make it complicated, so here you go. And that's fine, you know. It works out. Okay, how can I make her look more plague doctor-y? I need more like vials.
Bandolier test tubes.
I think the bandolier is the way to go.
It's a druid.
Hello.
Welcome. Welcome, friends. What are you gonna say? You're late.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah, I showed up today. There was no one around. It was really strange. I was like, oh my. YouTube shadow banned me?
I don't see why anybody would shadow ban you. No, I had a rough morning. It's been snowing here since, well, yesterday morning.
Yeah.
And my old man body is like, don't do anything. Don't move.
Tried to call my dad yesterday, and he didn't get back to me. And then, like, a few hours later, he's like, I've been shoveling snow since 5 a.m. And I was like, oh, God. Like, it's bullshit. It's like, okay, well, you know what? I'll talk to you later. That's fine. It was me. It was just the start.
No.
Yeah, that's right. Bionic's been here since the beginning. Everyone knows Bionic a great deal of, what's the term? I don't know what the term is. Bionic's keeping things going. Mad respect. F's in chat for Bionics. No, it's fine. You guys don't have to be here. I don't want to make it feel like you were late, because you show up when you show up, and that's totally fine. You do not have to show up. You are not required to be here. This is my job, not yours. But I appreciate
I
when
was
you
trying out a mod
are.
on the game, so I was like loading in. It's like, well, dang it. I'll jump in later. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, no
I
rush.
like being here. I like being here because it's good motivation to draw.
That's also true. It's a good reason to hang out.
And I mean, also, you're a lot of fun to hang out with. And
That's
I
good.
like shooting the shit with you.
I appreciate that. I enjoy shooting the shit with you as well. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
When is Hanukkah? When is Hanukkah? I always forget. Is it going on right now? Is it this week? Nice.
I can never keep track of it, but it is usually the week before Christmas, isn't it?
It depends. It's based on lunar
Yeah, it's
stuff.
based on a lunar calendar.
I never got to do any. I think I knew one person growing up that celebrated Hanukkah. We weren't
Starts this Sunday.
particularly friends. We were classmates, and I just
Starts Saturday, ends the day after Christmas.
Getting ready for a get together this weekend. Nice. D&D game with my wife and I started when the COVID lockdown started. Meeting for the first time in person. Nice. That's awesome. I hope everybody does their COVID checks beforehand, because, as always, COVID's getting weird again.
Yep,
Be safe and healthy, everybody.
It's still a thing. Please be smart about your health and about other people's health.
Mac asked, are people allowed to join the voice channel while you are recording? You are allowed to join, but... Oh, yep, Druid got it.
Yep.
Anyone can join the voice chat, but it's automatically muted. Yeah, so basically the voice channel chat is there. People are allowed to jump in if you're in the Discord and just hang out and listen if you want, if you don't want to be on YouTube. I know it's sometimes a pain in the butt to have, if you don't have like YouTube Prime, it can't turn your phone off while you're listening to it, which is a bummer. So yeah, if that's easier for you to join the Discord, that's fine, but yep, we mute it just so people don't jump in and be trolls and stuff, so.
Yep.
For protection's sake.
Yeah.
That, and I don't have to get like a disclaimer from everybody that jumps in. Are you okay being on YouTube?
Yeah.
Which I've had a bunch of people just be like, I'm totally fine with it. It's like, nah, that's not really the point. The point is I have to...
like, screaming over people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many people gets a little chaotic sometimes. Unfortunately, you cannot hang out and talk, but you are allowed to just come chill and hang out if you want. Feel free. As well as I've switched the drawing back to the Patreon members for a little while, because I feel like I haven't been giving them their fair shake. So if you are a Patreon member and you'd like to come draw with us, you're very welcome to. There's a link in the Patreon channel chat. And yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to set up the Discord membership, which is like their own Patreon adjacent thing, which would let people join the Patreon channels through Discord, so they don't actually have to go through Patreon. I'm working on that. It's being a little difficult, partially because I think it wants... Can't tell if it just wants my mods to be two-factor authenticated or everybody, and it's like, ooh, I don't know if that's right. I don't know if I need everybody to be authenticated. That seems like a bit...
Authenticate.
Yeah, it seems like a bit much to ask. Well, Lucky Joe, I hope your game goes well. Be safe. I hope it is fun. Remember to bring snacks for everybody. That's my thing. Whenever I host a D&D game, it's like, I'm gonna have so many snacks. So many snacks.
Smorgasbord.
That's because you like to cook, at least partially.
That's true. I'm a sucker for homemade popcorn. Like, I love it. I eat it
Oh yeah.
several times a week. And so whenever
I can't
play
eat
D&D,
corn anymore.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry.
It's fine. It's something I can bitch about, so it makes me happy.
Okay, there we go. I think that's about where I'm going to stop with this one. Not sure what else to add to make this more plague doctory or plague-ish. More belts. Always use more belts.
This mushroom cap is reading very cowboy hat to me, and
Yeah,
so
it
now
is.
this is going to be a gunslinger just because.
It's a good choice. I nicked myself cutting veggies. Ooh. It's on my bad hand, so I can't feel it. That's no good. Take care of that. Clean it up. Put a bandage on it. I'm cooking for 8. Making homemade chips and salsa, queso, guacamole, and mostly charcuterie and barbecue. Nice. That sounds awesome. I'm a big fan of what I'll do is I like the guac. Guac is a good idea. Guac, chips, and salsa. I really am a big fan of like homemade pico de gallo. Oh, so good. But then I'll also make like chicken adobo in a big pot because it's just super easy. And then when people are hungry, they get rice, they get chicken. Done. So fast. I should have put my chainmail glove on. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. You can do that. They make those. You work somewhere that has a lot of cutting, they will sometimes mandate you wear little chainmail gloves, which you can buy.
Yeah.
If you're ever bored and want to cosplay something with a chain link glove, just look up kitchen supplies.
I worked in a deli, and they had Kevlar gloves for when you cleaned the deli slicer.
Yeah.
Which were generally worked fairly well, but a couple of times people made assumptions that the Kevlar glove was like completely cut proof when it was really just cut resistant, and ended up with some nasty sliced fingers.
As someone who has cleaned many cutting slicers, deli slicers, yeah, they cut you real good. It doesn't feel good. The worst ones are cardboard. Cardboard cuts are the butts. They're not clean, they don't feel good, and they hurt.
You know, I think aluminum shaving cuts are the worst.
Yeah, those are bad too. I used to work at a Pizza Hut.
Change the topic.
Yeah, sure.
This is.
I used to work at a Pizza Hut, and I had some pretty awesome calluses from folding pizza boxes, but it took many a time of getting through that to get those calluses. All right, moving on. I think I'm done with this one.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I was like, please stop.
All right, there's that. Fatmer's platters are a great way to get kids to eat veggies. Fatmer's. I don't know what that is. Is that like a?
That sounds like a brand.
Might be a brand.
Yeah, like a grocery store chain, maybe.
Yeah, if you just
or do they mean farmers platter?
Farmer platter with like veggies and meats and cheeses. My D20 just vanished. I heard it hit something metal, and it just disappeared.
And now it's gone.
And now it's gone. Where'd it go?
Oh, it's lost.
Alright, here we go. Oh, jeez. Awakened Gorilla Sun Monk. Bow staff optional. Alright. Draw a gorilla. Gorilla Monk. We're doing some weird ones today. I like it. I guess I should look at that without... Oh, what did I just delete? Dang it. No. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty happy with that. All right, Gorilla. Gorilla.
Gorilla.
Gorilla Grodd.
What is a sun monk? Are they the ones that shoot
Goku
fire?
monk.
They have like Kamehameha blasts.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was one of the few subclasses from Sword Coast Adventures actually got reprinted into a more accessible book.
What was wrong with Sword Coast again? Was it just...
It was super niche and no one... It kind of was like... It pinged slightly and then quickly was forgotten.
Was it boring or just uninteresting or what?
It was a purely like Forgotten Realms book.
Okay.
And it was also very small. It was like a lore book that had a few things in it. But it was probably like their least popular book they ever put out, so.
Hey, they can't all be bestsellers.
Yep. They're like, people don't want lore books. Good to know.
See, that's the weird thing, because like that's one big gripe I hear from people about Pathfinder all the time. Or I guess, sorry, it's a gripe I hear all the time, and Pathfinder is kind of the solution for it. Is that like there's no lore books, like specifically like they don't go in depth to like the gods and the religious.
Well, there's the Lost, at least in 2E, there's the Lost Omen books. Which are like
the Lost Omen
setting books.
Yeah, they're really good, and so like the on the contrary to that, on the opposite side of it, I got the Ravnica's Guide to
Everything.
The Master's Guide.
No, it was like the Guild Guide, the Ravnica's Guild Guide.
Yeah.
And it is awful. It's just a bad book. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you could be the Golgari. Here's 3 items for them. It's like, did I pay this whole book for like 12 items? It's just not great. Part of it is just because it's Magic the Gathering. I thought it'd be more intensive in the lore, and it's not. It's just kind of very bland. Whereas like the what is it? The
Theros book.
The Theros book was better. The Theros book was definitely better. But like, there's a handful of the Pathfinder books. I think Jump Rope has all of them stashed somewhere. But it's like the Inner Sea Guide and the Deity books, and there's like a couple different dragon handbooks that are really good. They're just all about the lore and like adding different feats and classes and different items. Champion boons. I love it. It's great. But farmers slash. Okay. D&D hot take. Temporary HP makes more sense than continuously healing and needing a bit of love because Arcane Ward absorbs damage. It's way better than getting sliced and getting healed. Yeah, Bionic, I agree with that. I'm a very big proponent. Yeah. I want to get it across that hit points are not damage, but hit points are the amount of combat you can endure before taking fatal damage, before taking damage. And healing magic is basically just morale boosting and stamina replenishment. So I'm getting tired, like my hit points are low, like I can't keep dodging these attacks, and it's just like, here's a prayer that invigorates you. And it's like, yes, okay. Hit points make way more sense that way versus every time I attack, I stab somebody in the kidney. It's like, no, you don't. Like, they never actually get hit by your sword until you deal damage to them and then they die from it.
Yeah, that's what you tried to do.
The SCAG, I'm not sure what that is, was co-produced by Sword Coast. Got it. It was produced by a third-party publisher called Green Robin Publishing, who was notoriously back in the day for a lack of balancing and quality control. Okay. SCAG ignored 99% of what made Forgotten Realms cool and focused most bland parts of most classical fantasy parts of Forgotten Realms. Forgotten Realms is really cool. Just 5e gutted it and used to be a weird, crazy part of the D&D. Yeah, okay. It's just bland now. Yeah, and 5e, I don't know if they just tried to keep it simple, like we say all the time, but It does. It feels a lot less fleshed out. But I just, like I said, go back and use the old books. It's great. Like, D&D is awesome.
Yeah. I think the problem is it's 40 years old.
Yeah, it is 40 years old. So like having checkpoints of
different riders.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that's why, like, I'm okay with 5e being like, hey, if you're going to play the modules, like, only use these books. It's like, cool, that's fine. You're missing a lot of stuff, so we're going to have to make a lot of stuff anyway. Right, hello, 31 months. Oh, hot damn. Special ability message. Nice. I like it. I need to add some more stuff. I've been doing this for a while. It's great. 31 months.
Yeah, you have.
Oh, damn. I think January is when we start, right? So, I think January was one of my first videos. And then I didn't actually make another one for a while, but they removed most of the dinosaurs. There's a lot of really cool dinosaurs in 3.5. I highly suggest you check that out. I like temporary hit points. Burning Palace, hello, by the way. On the back end of hit points instead, so they can be relied on them to keep yourself up. That is how it used to work. The problem was, though, if you were a barbarian, you got temporary hit points. You lost your hit points to the temporary hit points. Then your rage falls off and you instantly die.
Yeah.
So there's some shenanigans about that. I never liked Forgotten Realms as a setting, really. It kind of feels like the world that already had all the heroes it needed. Yeah, I can definitely see that. It's definitely a world full of, like, overpowered people. 5e is just... 5e is Baby Junior, basically. I don't know what that means. Oh, like, just a small little brother version of D&D. They don't want aliens, monsters. They want to promote discount token fantasy. They want to promote and discount token. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, it sells.
And yeah, well, I mean, part of why it sells is because it was really accessible.
Yeah. That's kind of the, like, I think it's an interesting way to look at it. Like, do you want to completely appease the fan base you have, or do you want to bring more people in? And I think 5e was meant to reinvigorate, and now the people that joined for 5e are kind of seeing what the older generation liked, and they're like, "Oh, where's that? Why can't we do that?" It's like, you can't.
Yeah.
It's just older editions. They're like, old is bad. It's like, it's not. So,
Yes.
Ageist.
Old people are bad people.
5e is great for an introduction. Yep. Most people would be interested in branching out of it. I agree. I definitely agree. Maybe it's me, but a lot of those complaints are looking back at 3.5 with its libraries of third-party content and expecting WotC to publish all of it officially. That is true as well. I have seen a lot of people doing that.
Like,
In my mind...
I love this book.
Yeah. In my mind, really, you should just always be ready to homebrew.
Yeah, I strongly agree with that statement.
And I think that's kind of the thing that is missing from 5e is, and that's why I really appreciated Tasha's. I think a lot of people were mad about Tasha's when it came out, or at least the complaints I heard about Tasha's. It's like, no, that's good. It's a good thing, in my mind, because I think the people that are most vocal about it and were upset are the people that don't like change and don't want to have to deal with all the old stuff. Which is fair. Like, that's totally legitimate thing for them, but on a whole, I think the community needs that acknowledgement that D&D used to be all the time. It's just like, it's okay to make your own stuff up. It's okay for you to take this and run with it.
Yeah.
So I was 70% homebrew anyway. Yeah.
I saw a YouTube video last night when I couldn't sleep, where a guy was saying that so far 1D&D does not have an open license, and it looks like they're not planning to have an open license.
I have not talked about it.
They were worried about that.
But yeah, I am also worried about it. Partially, I haven't talked about it because there's just not a lot of information about it.
Yeah, and like it's probably too early to say Wizards of the Coast is not going to do an open license. We don't know that.
So that's the big thing is, and I've been talking to some of the guys in the community about it, and they've heard rumors of that. It's just like, oh, that's dangerous. Like, it's scary to talk about because they say that the people that are saying it's not going to happen are reputable, but at the same time, like, if they stick with that stance, that's very bad. So it's kind of hopefully Wizard will hear that outcry and be like, ooh, maybe we won't do that. But I think it's a bad idea if they do that.
I very much agree.
Right. I still like the colors of these messages better. Yeah, that's true. Maybe I can change that. I'm not sure. But the member chat is available. Did you know you can be a member of YouTube? And if so, I will give you a Patreon thing in Discord, because that's the only thing I can do for the members. I don't know what else people would want for that. If you guys want more videos for members only or something, we can figure something out with that. But Right, thank you for the $20. I appreciate that. We are doing a super chat today. A super chat side quest. So, would you like a Rugby Christmas sketch? I'm sorry, that sentence took forever for me to get out of my head. Or would you prefer a Kobold Christmas sketch? Which after this, we'll take a quick break and we'll draw another Christmas Rugby.
Maybe Druid will finish up his mushy boy, and we'll actually start a suggestion.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything you don't want. Take time.
No, I know. I'm aware. I want to help out. I want to draw people's cool suggestions. I rely on your community for creative ideas, then I don't have to do as much heavy lifting in that front myself.
That's true. Yeah, that is dumb. It makes the mistake. We just move to OSR. Yeah, I mean, and that was a big thing. Like that was the big jump in 3.5. Like everything was open source, the open source license, or OGL, open game license. Yeah, open game license. And to be fair, it did allow for Pathfinder, which was technically made up of the old school designers, to become a direct competitor. So that's kind of a bummer. But it also allows for just a huge community effort to be applied to the game, which I think is amazing. And I'm worried that they're going to shut themselves off from that.
Yeah. Look, Wizards didn't have to no longer employ the people who made Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Having the license was not the only decision they made that opened themselves up to a direct competitor.
I like that they seem to be trying to add it more customization. Start adding more customization as a standard or for characters with level 1 feats and lots of half feats. It's all super monetized digital stuff though. Yeah, and that's not uncommon though. I think is the big thing. With them moving to D&D 1, trying to encompass all of the digital play, like there is definitely a market for that. People want that.
Yes.
The downside to it is that there are people that don't want that, and to them I say just keep playing 5e, play Pathfinder. You still have to buy books for the most part, but you can get away with a lot of the open source stuff, and I think that's more important. But if you want to play like Foundry or Roll20, there are still some barriers to entry monetarily wise, and I hope they do a good job, because if they do, they'll have a really cool product, but it's not going to be the same type of product they currently have with 5e. So I don't feel like people have to upgrade, and I think that's something else that maybe people are missing. From Pathfinder 1 to Pathfinder 2, a lot of people were upset, and I think Paizo did a great job of being like, if you guys want to keep playing first edition, you can. All of the stuff in the second edition books will convert. Like it's all backwards compatible. You can even just take, if I play Pathfinder first edition now, moving forward, I'm probably going to use the 2e action economy because it's way better.
100% same.
It's way better. So yeah, like don't feel like you have to get stuck with D&D 1 as your only option. Like, now we have to play digitally. It's like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. And just find ways around.
You're not upgrading an iPhone. Yeah. All of the old material is still there.
I don't mind
you
buying
still
books.
Have access to it.
I just don't want to have to buy 16 things to get the same amount of content I get from buying one book now. That's true. I've done this. I own most of the Pathfinder 1 books, and I also own them digitally because I've had programs in the past that Lone Wolf Developer came up with that allow you to basically digitally make your characters, and it's a convenience thing. Like I had to pay like $2 for each book digitally to allow me to use that. Worth it. It was totally worth it. Could I have done all of that just on a piece of paper? Yeah, absolutely. So that's my fear with D&D 1 is if the content is available versus permanently locked behind D&D 1. And that's the thing. That's if they do close the game license and make it so that you can only get the content through purchasing it, kind of like how it is right now on D&D Beyond. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset if they basically make it a subscription-based game and you just can't play it any other way. So we'll see what happens. But
I understand people
I agree, Burning Palace.
being upset with that. I personally will not be, because I have all of the second edition Pathfinder books, and I know like all of the open source first edition Pathfinder stuff. I have other games that I actually like better than 5e, so I'm good. If they're gonna do that, all it means for me is I'm just not gonna play D&D anymore. Just play something else.
And I think that I'm not going to discourage you from that, right? Like, it's not my job to make that. I think that the problem with them doing that is you are not going to be alone in that. I think D&D is doing themselves a disservice, especially after 5e was so successful at bringing people in. And I'm afraid that they're going to make it so unaccessible now that people just...
they're going to shut all of those people out.
Yeah.
And...
the market for that, like I said, there's a market out there for people that love D&D Beyond and are okay with throwing money at it. Like, they don't want the books. They don't want the clutter. They're like, I want everything to work perfectly and I want it to be smooth. And those people might love D&D 1 if they do it right. So we'll have to see.
100%.
I need a frog named Soup. He needs a frog named Soup? Who needs a frog named Soup? The mushroom? I will say, WotC doesn't make it so 1D&D doesn't have an open game license. I would be pretty disappointed, especially as D&D 4e didn't have one either, and it's rough for online play. Yeah, it's definitely like 4e was just a hot mess, and that was one of the reasons. And I mean that's basically 4e. I think was the direct cause of Pathfinder to exist. Yeah, 3.5 was something, and Pathfinder's like, hey, we should do it this way, and they were like, what if we went World of Warcraft? And it was like, no, and then Pathfinder.
And people were like, 4e is unplayable.
Yeah, 4 is
Ooh, this one's fun.
When an unpopular edition without OGL, people just played a different edition. Yeah, played a different edition and made a new game. Absolutely. Anton, hello. Yeah, apparently the mushroom needs a frog named Anton. You want me to add that real quick?
Sure. Yep. He looks like an Anton, that's for sure. Apologies if your name is Anton. I did not mean that disrespectfully.
4e had no open game license, so people played 3. Yeah, 3.5. Yeah, and I mean, people kept building stuff for 3.5 forever. Like, I think people still are developing because it's such a good system, and it's compatible with Pathfinder, and it's like that's really the beauty of it. Is like so much of me. I learned on Pathfinder. I played 4th edition. I played 2nd edition. I think I played Advanced D&D first. That was the first time I ever played D&D, and then I took some years off, and then I played. I might have played one 3.5 game, but I got reintroduced to 4th edition. That was when I sat down and played a bunch of it, and then from there I went to Pathfinder, and it was easy to go to like things I liked about 3.5 and be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna use that for my game. We're gonna use these templates," and I still do that to this day because it worked really well. And like I said, the community that allows you to do that that's a good way to build a game. It's something that the community can be a big part of. Yeah,
especially because games like TTRPGs like D&D and Pathfinder are ostensibly community-based games. You have to have a community in order to play.
Ted says, honestly, I liked 4E, and it's kind of funny how both Pathfinder 2nd Edition and low-level 4E kind of hit all the notes that I like in tabletop RPGs. 4E did encounters really well, but that's really all it did well. Yeah, I mean, 4th Edition was a lot more of combat simulation, which was fine. And it felt more like you were playing a video game. And I think if 4th edition had a good background like D&D Beyond, I think it would have been a lot more successful. But the fact that you had to track everything in paper, I remember when I was playing 4E, I had a deck of cards. I had like custom tokens that I had built, and like that was half the fun for me, was building all the shit I needed just to play my character. And I was like a fighter. And no, I was a shaman. Shaman were complicated.
Yeah, I mean that is part of the fun of an artist.
And so yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting to say the least. But I made this a Sasquatch and not a gorilla, and now I'm realizing I don't know what gorillas look like. I think they're more top heavy.
Yeah, they are. Here, I got you.
It's not big enough. Whoops. I think I just didn't make the head big enough. Nope. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Sam Squatch. I really like your drawing style. I don't know if you're talking to me or Druid, but probably Druid. Thank you. Oh yeah, I didn't give him any. I just made him have people face. He ain't got no snoot.
Got to include the snoot.
Snoot drooped.
Us apes are weird. Can I just say? All of us. Humans, gorillas, chimpanzees, we're all fucking weirdos.
Yep. I was missing the Homer Simpson mouth, I think, is the other thing I was missing. That definitely made a difference.
Willow tagged me in another tweet on Twitter. It's weird.
Mike going to get his goth girlfriend. That's pretty good. It's a great character builder that was supposed to be the VTT that never happened for 4E. Bummer. Huey did have Thaco. Yeah. I learned on Thaco, everybody. So enjoy that. That you don't have to know what that is or how it works.
Yep.
Every now and again, I have like a weird. I will wake up at like 2 a.m. and be like, I should make a video on Thaco, and then I have to explain to myself what it is so I remember, and then I just fall back to sleep. It's just like, it's like, I don't know if other people do that. Every now and again, I have to like remind myself how derivatives work in math or like long division. Like I need to make sure I remember how to do this.
Oh, I don't know how to do long division anymore. Don't know how to do remainders.
Because they're not important. Period.
Yeah. Once you get to the decimal, just throw it away. Like, very few things in life require the decimal, but some things do, and then it's good to know. Greeting. I might have to inquire what's been drawn so far. Let's see. What have we drawn so far? Currently drawing an awakened gorilla.
A monk.
Yeah, awakened gorilla monk. We drew a plague-inspired satyr, a plague cleric, and then a barbarian otter, and a Christmas rugby. Those are the things we've drawn so far.
We're getting the milk nut.
I remember fold-out charts for Thaco. Yeah, Thaco is interesting. I'm not sure why they did it that way, but it existed. So who knows? Like, if you ever sit down and actually figure out how Thaco works in your head, the next thought you have is, it'd be way easier if we just, that's how armor class works. Makes no sense.
It means like to hit armor class 0, right?
Yes. 2 hit armor class of 0.
I feel like it has to do with some old war game, because Gygax was a major nerd for war games.
Oh, probably.
So.
I mean, the original Thaco made sense when you only had a set amount of armor.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would scale up until you were at a point where it's just like the only way to hit somebody is to roll a 20. That's it. That's the only way, and that's what Thaco is. If you have an armor class of 0, you have to roll a 20 without any modifiers. And then once they started getting into like AD&D and second edition, all of a sudden it was like, oh, my armor class is -5, and it's like, well, now we're into negative numbers, which you're still rolling the d20, and then you have to do the math backwards, and it's just like, what if we said my armor class is 25? It's like, oh, that seems way better. Like, they removed all of the negative implications of it. Thaco is basically D&D's version of Magic the Gathering's banding. Yeah, I like banding too. I love banding. I don't know why it was so hard for people. I like banding. I got an AC of -10. Nice.
Are you a barbarian? Or paladin? I don't know if paladin existed in 2E.
Oh man, what was it? It was acrobat, priest, fighter,
Elf.
ranger?
Was elf a class back then?
No.
Or was that earlier?
I mean, it used to. There used to be 3 things, right? Like I think it was human fighter, or was it dwarf barbarian, dwarf fighter, elf, ranger. Man, I can't remember. Yeah, there was some weird stipulation with it, but it was essentially like pick one of these 3 characters to play, right?
Yeah.
It was that's why it was like that.
But I do know, like, elf in itself was like its own class because it was like a magic swordsman. So like the sword mage that everyone loves.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe
like
the human.
elf.
Maybe the human was the. I think human was fighter, but it was kind of like the generalist, and elf was a little more of the ranger.
Then early D&D was really a lot like Heroes Quest then.
Oh yeah, Hero Quest was absolutely just D&D the board game. Like that, like 100%. Someone was like, people like this D&D thing. Let's just make a board game out of it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I will say I liked the custom dice system that they had for determining hit and defense.
Yeah, and if you like that system, essentially that's what Savage Worlds? No, not Savage Worlds. Apocalypse works. That's like the D6 explosion system is based off of that. It just uses regular dice instead of custom dice. You can make custom dice for Apocalypse, and I think that's way more fun. But have you ever looked into Gloomhaven? I've not. I've heard good things. People keep telling me about it, but I've never played it. I think the save versus poison and saves versus spells and saves versus death is better than int wisdom con saves. Yeah, the int wisdom con save thing is way less complicated, but like, man, 3rd edition's ability to save for like 1,000 different things was just a pain in the butt.
I really like Pathfinder's
yeah, just based off
3 saves. Yeah,
3 saves, and then you also can have things like Constitution or charisma saves from time to time based on certain spells.
Yeah,
you just never have proficiency in them, which I think is interesting. But that's because it's getting its own tabletop RPG and it's going to be ability card based. Nice. See how that goes. Since Frontliners got higher save scaling, it made casters less OP since you have a 50% chance to resist poison, but the fighters had 90%. Yeah, I mean, I really think I get what you're saying. And I don't think you're wrong at all. I think that's fair, but like, in my mind, that should work with Constitution saves, except when people are like, I'm gonna be a wizard with 40 Constitution. It's just like, stop it. Stop being a min-maxer. Like, just. So I'm totally fine building into tropes, you know? Like,
yeah.
If the wizard gets hit and dies, that's fine. That's how it's supposed to work.
Tropes are they are there for a reason.
Be broken.
There's nothing wrong with playing to a trope. as long as you do it well. I watch Overly Sarcastic Productions a lot, which is they do Trope Talks is like the name of the series that Red does. And I love it a lot because but like every single trope is basically like she breaks it down and she goes and it's basically this thing that people kind of roll their eyes over is not necessarily bad. It is just a writing tool that authors use. It's bad when people who should know better don't. It's bad when you use it lazily or when you use it without thinking and don't know what you're doing.
Yep.
It's bad when you don't do it intentionally.
I think the College Humor guys did the Night of Basic. And it was literally, the skit was someone was being made fun of because they liked like pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, you're so basic." And then this guy in armor showed up and he's like, it's good because people like it because it is good. Like, or people like it because it's good. That's why it's basic, because lots of people like it. And it's okay. It's totally fine to be that way. So like, yeah, tropes are great. Like the stupid barbarian is fun. It's really fun to play.
Yeah. As long as you're playing it in a way that makes sense and isn't screwing over everybody else at the table,
yep,
it's great.
And I think I've had a few people, like, when they get really into Critical Role, like, I'm gonna play D&D because Critical Role, and then they make Grog, and it's like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with this, because
Grog is cool.
Grog is super tropey, and Travis did a great job playing super tropey character.
Yeah,
like that's totally fine. So I don't know. There's no really, like, as someone who draws lots of people's D&D characters, there are very few like really unique characters. And it's totally fine. Like, I cannot tell you without going and looking how many Dritz Stoward characters I've drawn for people. It's just straight up Drow Ranger. And it's like, yeah.
With dual scimitars.
Dual scimitars, a
Magic
spider
Panther.
pet. The Dritz doesn't have a spider pet, but I've oddly enough drawn a few Drow with spider pets. The Panther pet would be really cool.
Yeah, that was like one of the designers for 5th edition's main idea for Rangers. It was not like a bow person, but like dual scimitars. That was their main idea of a Ranger in their head.
Yeah, and that definitely carried over into Pathfinder because, like, Pathfinder, the 1st edition Pathfinder, the Ranger is like they get class feats that make it so that they can go into dual wielding without needing the usual dex requirements.
Nope, that's wrong.
So you can get, like, it's the easiest way to get a really strong dual wielder. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Nope, that's fine. Dritz is a broken character.
Yeah.
If you read the books,
he's a
like
character.
Yeah, if you read the books, he's a ranger fighter cleric, and it's just like he's like level 22 or something. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's fine. I can't be
always like. Go ahead. Sorry.
You can't be a popular thing unless unless it was like popular 20 plus years ago, then it's cool and retro. Yeah, that's the hipster vibe. Also, old D&D became a huge pop culture foundation in countries like Japan. It was huge because of the RPG video games. So they made pig orcs and hairy kobolds. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I really like the I like the Japanese orcs. I really like them. Which they use in like Legend of Zelda and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine liking popular things. What do you think? It's good? Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? It's like making fun of people for liking the good thing. It's like, you should try it. It's good.
I mean, just because a lot of people like something doesn't mean that it's good.
That's
Twilight.
That's feel like pedanticism. I think Twilight is not. Hear me out. Twilight's probably not that bad. It's just not written for half the population. So So I don't know. People can enjoy Twilight all they want. I can't read it. Like I
Look,
literally, I tried to read it. I couldn't do it.
I took a creative writing class in college, and literally every single day, we talked about Twilight as an example of really bad, lazy writing.
Fair enough.
It is like
I'm not here to shit on
objectively
stuff.
by good writing metrics, bad.
Okay. I can't continue with that conversation. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You've pegged me in a corner, and now I'm moving on. They printed this.
Sorry.
They printed this state once. I think Dritz is a ranger fighter barbarian. Yeah, I think so. I think he did have printed stats once. I don't remember what level he was though. Twilight is for a phase, and works when you are in that phase. Yeah, exactly. Like the people that enjoyed it, and that's fine. And I don't care about it beyond that. Not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's wrong to not enjoy it. I'm saying it is bad. I like potato chips. Potato chips are bad.
Mm.
Bad for me, bad in general.
That's so tasty.
They are really tasty.
If bad, why tasty?
So marketable.
But all I was gonna say was like, it's really hard to like stat like literary characters because they don't fully fit in the confines of the games.
Yeah.
Any game settings. Like
That was something that's really funny. I read the short story about how Dritz got not how Dritz. Sorry, there's a book where Dritz gets. I can't remember his panther's name. It starts with an E. But there's a short story that tells the story of how it was created, and it's basically a stone panther, which is kind of a common item now in D&D. Not super common, but it's wondrous figurine of creature. But the process in which it was made, that in the book, I think that's the sentence I wanted to use, was like 20 years of effort by this wizard. And and like a whole handful of things had to happen for it to magically be what it is. And maybe it is also because he has a weird like shadow panther that has some unique properties, but don't plagiarism, but it got printed. Oh no. Okay, we're back to Twilight. I look at the Twilight the same way I look at stuff in Critical Role. I'm glad people like it, but it's just not for me. Yeah, that's totally fine. So it's like the printed characters, I think Corvus is right, like never really quite fit into the game. Because it's just like that's not how the mechanics work, because something that sounds cool, it's just like Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like Yu-Gi-Oh cheats all the time because that's not how the game would be able to play. It doesn't make sense to make it work that way. And so that's kind of how it works out.
it's like if we try to like stat say Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, it's like he's a fighter, he's a ranger, probably primary ranger, probably even has a bit of magic on his side.
Mm-hmm. He's got elf magic.
One part necromancer.
Yeah.
Also kind of a necromancer.
Yeah, he can control the dam.
It's like,
but I think that's one of the reasons I like the Tolkien universe, is because all the characters are just like they're a little overpowered, but like you can see the pieces that people enjoy and pull out to create the different classes. Like I love looking at that as D&D is constantly trying to move itself away from that, but like seeing Lord of the Rings as like the basis for what became D&D is really cool, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
He even stole the Iron Throne from the Herald Magic series. I've read all the R.R.
J.R. Tolkien.
Oh yeah, no, Tolkien definitely.
Not Tolkien, but Martin.
Martin. Yeah, I just did the exact same thing you did.
He even stole my RR.
Yep. Rough times. Sorry, Bionic, I'm struggling with this one. I've read all the RR took from so I have a rough time reading Game of Thrones, but they made more fantasy cool again. Yeah, I really liked the Game of Thrones books, but they have like very large flaws in them. So the best characters from the Dritz books to me were the side characters like Cerebral Punt, Jarl Axel, I can't read these names. I know the names. Here's the weird thing. Like, so for the Dritz books I've read, I just have the audiobooks of them, and so I've heard all these names, but I can't read them out loud. I've never said them before. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Who's the shadow rogue with the cursed dagger that's like half vampire? I can't remember. Is that Jarl Axel, or is Jarl Axel the?
No, your Axel is the mercenary from Benzo Berenzon. Yeah, he's the male drow who is in charge of the mercenary company that serves ostensibly the oldest, most powerful priestess.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
He's now living in Waterdeep. No, Luxon. I think he's living in Luxon now.
And he's a sassy bitch.
Mm-hmm. I've never even read the books, but I was like, this art they did of him screams sass.
Oh yeah.
Every time someone asks when the next book comes out, I kill a Stark.
That's
pretty funny.
Oh, that explains so much.
Yes, let's get rid of all the Starks and the Lannisters. Everything will be solved. Yeah, it's like
I try not to engage with Game of Thrones because it's like a little gratuitous and political for me. But like from the little that I have seen and heard, it sounds to me very much like it's supposed to be a Fall of Rome type story. Is that accurate?
I think so. It essentially the main books take place at the fall of the after the fall of the empire that basically shaped the entire continent. So the Targaryens were usurped, and then the book starts, I think, 20 years after that. So the king that took power after them is where the book starts, and then you kind of see the story unfold as the main Targaryen queen is basically trying to come back to power. So
okay, gotcha.
So yeah, Rome has fallen, and now you're trying to like, they've had the summer, they've had these years of peace and prosperity, and now kind of shit just hits the fan, which I dig. And there's weird magic in it, and weird gods and zombies and dragons, and it's awesome.
Martin has, well, he probably does take some Roman stuff, but he's like flat out said like most of his stuff was inspired by the War of the Roses, which is like an English Civil War.
Yeah. No,
At
that
least in
actually
the modern.
Yeah, no, that actually makes more sense because it is a lot more like family politics and dynamics, and a lot less like military general politics and dynamics.
There's very little actual war happening. It's all political intrigue, and then like kind of towards the end, shit hits the fan. But
right,
Fall of Rome with more banging and bad things. Yep, that's a good way to describe it. Thanks for the chill vibes at work. Yeah, no problem.
All right,
looking good. I like it.
I'm finally ready for my first prompt. What am I rolling?
I've got a few. Roll a d20 and reroll 15 plus.
Okay.
I think I'm done with this.
Natural 20 reroll.
Reroll
it. Natural 20. Hey, these dice are on fire today.
Or just go pick.
If you roll another natural 20, you're gonna just pick.
Natural 1.
All right, there you go. Half drow, human woman, divine soul sorcerer. Straight blonde hair, golden eyes, straightly gray, white skin. Raised by nomadic terracotta golems. Okay.
I'm sorry, one more time, please. That's a lot.
Yeah. Half drow human woman, divine soul sorcerer, raised by nomadic terracotta golems. Uses crystals as her focus. I'm not sure how you would draw nomadic terracotta golems as a background because it's art, but if you
I'm
incorporate that
not
somehow,
going to.
you got a half drow divine soul sorcerer.
Who you with crystal theming?
Crystal theming, yep. It's
Okay.
mostly straight blonde hair and golden eyes. Not a bad character. Not a bad character. I kind of hope I roll a 2. I did not. I rolled a 17 after roll 7.
You could just pick.
I could just pick, but that's not how this works. The dice god have to choose. Swiffer bought 5,000. God damn it. An autognome cleaning bot, Way of the Kensai monk, who uses a broom and a ShamWow to wipe the floor with his enemies. All right, that's awesome. The name needs work, but I love the character.
But that is a name a gnome would give it to an auto gnome.
Well, you'd think so, yeah. But like, one, it's called Swiffer bot, so that's rude to call an autognome bot anything. 2, it doesn't have a Swiffer, and 3, that's a commercial product. So you got some things going for you. I would have gone with like, I like the broom. The broom is my favorite part. I can see monk with a broom. I might have to do that now, but yeah, I guess I don't have a better one, so touche. I don't have a better name. I have to think about it for a while.
A small gnome-shaped robot shows up at the guild one day,
Yes.
wielding a broom. It's like, oh no, another hateful creature.
I like to throw shade sometimes, but you know, I can't do better. I can't.
I don't mean to make it seem like all your characters are highly judgy characters. Fana isn't too judgy.
Fana is supposed to be super chill, and I hope he comes off that way.
He does.
We run it. He gets a little bit worked up when there's a potential for undeath happening, but otherwise he's pretty chill.
My whole thing with Fine is he's a liberator paladin. So like, and my thought is that undeath is like the most non-consensual thing you can do. It just like it feels like just a horrible thing for him. Like when somebody dies and just to use their body. So my mind is of he would want to put a stop to that at all costs, right? It's just like
right.
But like when we were fighting the ghosts, that's why my character was all like, "Who did this to you? How do we stop this? Do you want to be a ghost?" And then they were like, "I'm gonna eat your face." And it's like, all right, problem solved. I'm no longer conflicted. Guinevere, yes, thank you, Jump Rope. That was probably a while ago. It was a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
Is that how you say that?
Guinevere? I think it's Guinevere. I don't know if that's spelt correctly, but in the audiobooks, he says Guinevere. The half drow's mine. I'm sorry for the description, so janky. Couldn't figure out how to convey it properly without a backstory. Yeah, that's fine, Head Protector.
That's fine.
I usually put like the one sentence descriptor just because it's the less descript it is, the more freedom we have to kind of play with it. So that's
does mean that you might end up with a thing that's not
right, yeah.
what you had. Yeah, not what you had envisioned, but occasionally we come up with something that's maybe adds to what you thought. Maybe helps you make a better character. I don't know. That sounded like a very, very prideful thing to say.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, I would want just literally just like gnome barbarian done. All right, but that's not getting to see people's characters. So I do appreciate when people add to it, but that's my only caveat is that when you have lots and lots of little backgrounds, like we can't always draw that. Like that's the bummer of it. So don't feel bad. You did a great job, and we're gonna draw. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I do appreciate the flavor.
Mm-hmm. I get
More
a lot
flavor
of...
is only bad when it starts to get in the way.
Yep, that's true. Something I always bump into is people giving me lots of, like, I cut out what you said, like the blonde hair and the skin. It's like, I probably won't color these, so like color descriptors don't usually help.
Yeah.
And I just ignore them because I won't get to them. But don't feel bad. I think you did a good job, and giving us more information is always better than not enough. If you are trying to get something specific.
Yeah, it's always like a working thing to like get enough detail, but not so much detail that it kind of just gets lost in the details.
Something that Delcor and I used to talk about a lot, especially when we were in college, was visual descriptions versus narrative descriptions. So like giving us a backstory of a character, if it doesn't inform the drawing, can actually be detrimental, because and really what it is it's usually a failing of understanding visual descriptors. So saying somebody is like, oh, they're wild and chaotic, it's like, is that like in relation to something? Like their hair is wild and chaotic? Yeah. Do they have crazy eyes? Like it's an interesting tidbit for the character, so like it's fine to add that. But if that to you means that their hair is unkempt and curly and has stuff in it, I would much rather hear that their hair is curly and has stuff in it, right? Like it doesn't sound as cool and doesn't sound as descriptive, but it's very specific visually. So having those visual descriptors can really help an artist draw something of yours. You've got a blue shirt. It's like, well, what kind of shirt is it, right? The blue isn't as important as like types of things that look like it. So if they have a specific type of patterning or a specific style of shirt, that can be more helpful. And that's hard. It's hard. Yeah, it's a hard thing you have to learn how to do.
And that's kind of the difference between like visual art and like literary art. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
You could just different, because like when I would write stuff, we basically were like, less is more. Use as less terms and descriptions as possible in the context of my writing, because it is easier to convey what we want compared to what, say, an artist would want.
Yep. Joke's on you. I have PCs and NPCs. It always works at least a little. Oh no, what did I miss? Sponsored by Swiffer? Oh no, okay, I understand. I've always open to you lots. There we go. Interpretation, i.e., my goddess of civilizations and arcanes getting a second form and being split into two separate religions. Nice. Yeah. Navy blue turtleneck and a light blue tank top are totally different. They are Bionic, and that's exactly kind of, I think that's the thing. Like, being visually descriptive is really important. So, and I think, like I said, you did fine because you had the like straight blonde hair, and the skin tones. Those are good. I just didn't read them because Druid might do something totally different.
Yeah. Color does matter to me because I rely on it a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna give him like a ShamWow cover here.
So glad I don't have to listen to infomercials anymore.
I used to love infomercials, and I don't know why. Like, now I hate commercials with a passion, but like...
It was like, there was this... For a long time, there was three guys. There was the ShamWow guy, and then there was like the OxyClean guy who then did other things. And then he passed away, and the other guy took over.
Ron Popeil. I used to love watching Ron Popeil infomercials. Rocket Chop. It's like, oh, if only I had that Rocket Chop.
I've never enjoyed getting yelled at, so infomercials generally skeeved me out.
I didn't have cable, so a lot of the time it was just like I wanted to put something on TV, and the options were like infomercials or like religious people screaming at me, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch this infomercial.
Yeah, I would have made the same decision probably.
You gotta get saved.
I'm gonna be honest. For a little bit of time, it was fun watching people get the devil slapped out of them. As a young, impressionable Catholic child, it was like, hey, this guy is literally just grabbing people by the face and ripping the devil out of them. That's pretty cool. And then as I got older, it's like,
Maybe not.
This seems not as interesting as it used to.
Did that preacher actually heal that person's cancer, or is this all an act / mob mentality? Giving that person a lot of emotion.
The Lord Jesus demands that I have another jet. Disgusting.
The one who asked for a spaceship to evangelize aliens.
I'd throw some money at that one.
I was like, sure.
What if we meet an alien race? Like they land and they're like, hello, have you heard about our Lord and Savior Jesus? And we were like, yeah, we have. And they're like, oh, okay, goodbye. And they just leave. Like, what if that's it? What if that's... Who knows?
They'll be more polite than some evangelists.
Right, yeah.
It's
The
like,
Shamrock guy was
fucking
definitely
good.
on cocaine, probably. I like funny commercials, not the preachy ones. If a commercial is a list of products that like dolphins eat something and it's funny, I prefer that over 5 hours of TED Talks on paper straws. That's true. I'm okay with that. The only time I enjoy commercials when I specifically go looking to watch them. For example, the other day I went looking for a Negro commercial. I don't know what that is. But, yeah, I think that was part of it. It was just like there was something. This is way before YouTube, right? So like you couldn't go look for satisfying anything on the internet, and so my option was to like watch things get chopped in slow motion on infomercials, or like check this turkey get cooked in fast motion. It's like, yeah, that looks cool. I didn't have access to actually, you know what, I bet that's what it was. As soon as I had access to like how it's made, no more infomercials done. Like
Oh, yeah, how it's made is great.
Yeah. It was fulfilling that. I used to watch a lot of like documentaries and stuff, so that was kind of my jam. It was like cartoons, Monty Python, infomercials, anything on
Good.
PBS.
Yeah, no, good choices. I loved watching Bob Ross on Saturdays.
Yep, Ross is good. I watched a lot of cooking shows in this old house. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
That was basically the only thing that I had access to. Insider baseball just made me really mad. Used to watch Saturday morning cartoons, and then slowly over time, they just kept pushing Insider Baseball earlier and earlier and earlier. And then there was just no cartoons. And I was like, well, guess I gotta go outside now.
Dare you?
Time to learn how to skate.
Time to learn how to skateboard and do drugs. That's what you've done to me, Insider Baseball. That's not true. Just trying to make it sound bad.
Yeah, I definitely had privilege. I had like satellite TV when I was like little, so never had to deal with that.
I don't think my parents still have cable. Way it's pronounced Milo. Oh, okay. Cook a turkey with thermite. It takes a second. Yeah, see, you don't have that kind of stuff on YouTube. I had to go look. I had to go watch Ron Popeil cook one in an induction cooker. It also burns a hole in the too.
I feel like you would find that on YouTube now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Somebody's probably done it.
Or one of those side shows.
Taste of Mexico. Oh, such a good. Rick Bayless, if you're out there, can I have one of your cookbooks? I could probably just buy one. I made this guy way too buff.
No such thing.
I made him a Warforged instead of an Auto Gnome.
Just give him really tiny legs.
Yep. It's gonna look like a Rick and Morty character. Oh wee!
I've always wondered where that propensity in because I think it's mostly in American-made comic or cartoons to make the legs super short.
Laziness, I think. I mean, I guess not, because like you have this, right? Like this is a pretty standard thing. Then you also have like people like this. You can kind of move their crotch wherever you want it.
Hmm.
That kind
Shape
of
language.
feels like newspaper comics to me.
Mhm.
The top one does.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of shape language. The legs kind of get lost, partially because you just don't have to see a lot of them. That would make sense for newspaper comics.
Yeah.
Let's see, what are we doing today? What time is it? 1 o'clock. What is an Auto Gnome if not a gnome-sized Warforged? I mean, that's true. It is true. Probably finish up after this one. Have a commission to finish up. Might work on that a little bit. Might wait to finish that up tomorrow, though. I'll probably do the lion layer today. Finish that up on stream tomorrow. New video is out. If you haven't seen the new video, I highly recommend going and watching it. Post a comment on there. Maybe about some bagels. I hope people stayed to the end. So, funny bagel joke. It's alright if you didn't.
I did, but I don't really like bagels.
I like everything bagels. Which really isn't everything. But
Yeah, it's a bold claim, everything bagel.
yeah.
Bold
It's
claim.
everything mostly savory.
I mean, I think on an everything bagel, the only thing I really taste is the dehydrated onion and the caraway.
Is there caraway on an everything bagel?
I believe so.
I'm all about that sesame seed bagel. That's my favorite. If it's a cheap, shitty bagel, I'm okay with like a blueberry, like like a box store bagel. You know what I'm talking about? It comes in like a bag
Yeah.
for $6. But if I go to like a bakery, I'll get a sesame seed bagel. Sesame seed bagel with
Cashmere
cream
cream
cheese.
cheese.
So good, so good.
Smoked salmon.
I can take or leave the salmon. Sourdough bagels, anyone? You know, I don't know if I had sourdough bagels specifically. I love sourdough bread, so probably like that. Start over here.
My hot take is I'm annoyed with all the home bakers just making nothing but sourdough. It's like, come on, there's other breads out there in the world. Stop making sourdough.
It's just so easy though.
Learn to make rye bread.
It's hard to get
Type
rye
of rye
flour
bread.
here.
Really?
Yeah. I have to look for it, and it's constantly not there. So
Weird.
could just
I was
order
gonna
it.
say, where do you look for it at? Like normal flyer aisle, or do you look it in like specialty flyers?
I usually go bulk foods.
Mm.
It's just hard to keep in stock.
Because I normally found it in the specialty flyer gluten-free aisle.
Maybe it's just in the wrong spot, or in a spot that I don't expect.
Maybe. I can't really find it in my Winco either.
Maybe it's just a Winco problem.
It could be.
I can't find rye flour in bulk where I'm at. I have to buy like small packages of specialty.
Mm.
What is it, Red Mills brand?
Yeah.
Which is somewhat frustrating.
Not a
'Cause
fan
I-
of rye bread.
I love it.
Have you ever had a Reuben?
Yeah, I make it on sourdough normally, just because.
Oh,
I mean, like I've had rye bread for Reubens, and it's just like it's okay, but tastes just as good to me on sourdough. Pumpernickel is technically sourdough based too. I mean, sourdough is just free yeast. That's really all sourdough.
Yeah.
But it is really good.
it's just a long fermented starter.
Well, it's a little bit more than that because it is like it's colonies of wild yeast and probiotic bacteria that live in symbiosis.
See, now it looks like a gnome.
Yep. Give him real big arms. I kind of want to not have him give him feet. Makes him always look a little weirder.
A little hover feet.
Just little points.
So he doesn't scuff up the floor as he sweeps it.
Yep. Guess his name was Swifferbot, right? Should we just put him on a little plinth?
Mm.
This is the robot. The rest is just decor. Pretty funny. Alright, Druid, you're still working on that. Maybe I'll do one more before I call it. Definitely burning out a little bit. There is a link down below for the new video. I would appreciate it if everybody clicked on that and left a comment, because I want that video to get pretty popular. That'd be good.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. I guess we're on YouTube. Yeah, we can do that too. The room was great. I like the idea that his cape is just a big sham wow. Hyper absorbent.
Easily gets moldy.
Yep. Shammy's great. Okie doke. I'm gonna call that there. Let's do one more and then call it. 14 again, which we don't have. Oh, that roll a d12. Let's do that. A 5. Topaz Dragonborn, Circle of the Spores Druid with mushrooms growing on her. She was killed. What? She was killed once because others thought she brought death. Protect herself with breath weapons, cured nearby. Got it. Circle of the Spores, Topaz. What's the Topaz Druid? Or that Dragonborn? The yellow
they're
crystal?
a gem- Yeah.
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 What do the yellow crystals look like? I'm playing him in a
I
campaign.
think they mean like a wound has like spores growing out of it.
What?
Well, it says she died, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, so like has probably a slash wound and mushrooms growing out of it.
Could do that, yeah. I have no idea what a Topaz Dragon is supposed to look like.
Ooh, the internet.
I am working on it. They actually have backward wings.
Backward wings?
Yep.
Like they get smaller at the end?
Um,
Oh, sweet Jeebus. I don't know how to parse this.
it's a Tabaxi dragon.
It's a
No, not
Tabaxi
Tabaxi. It's a
Rakshasa dragon?
yeah, Rakshasa dragon. Yeah.
Well, I guess the main things for Dragonborn will probably have fin ears and maybe like a floating spine. So things.
Yeah, I do like that.
Oh. Yeah, this one might help you a bit more. Oh.
Oh, that's thick. I'm gonna wipe the floor with these guys. Wax on, wax off. I like it.
Spirit already beat me to it, so come
What do you
There
need to
you
do?
go,
I'll do
there you-
anything. Whack a guy, off a guy, whack off a guy. It's permanently stuck in my head
Yeah.
thanks to Family Guy. Anytime someone says wax on or wax off, it's just like not the same thing at all, but my head goes.
Curse you, Seth Green.
Topaz dragons have a dehydrating breath attack.
Jerky dragons.
Yes, they will turn all the fish they eat into jerky.
Dried salted cod. Gross.
Delicious.
I've never had dried cod. I do like smoked salmon, dried salmon jerky.
Dried salted cod is all will probably. I know a lot of times they'll sell it by its Portuguese name to make it sound fancier. It's bacalhau.
Okay. Can't say I've ever had it, but I do know that name.
You obviously have to soak it for like 4 or 5 days.
I think we used it, like we shaved it and put it in a soup once.
Mm.
Like we put it on top
Like
as a garnish. Not like a bonito or anything. Just a straight up garnish.
Interesting. I wonder if Skip Cat would like it as much as he likes your bonito flakes.
Maybe.
God, it's so derpy.
What is?
This picture of a topaz dragon. Its face.
Look at its face.
That's a long-nosed goblin. That's what happens when a goblin and a kobold make a baby.
Oh no. That's pretty good. That's just my outward appearance. That really hurts. Excuse me. We were listening to like, I don't know, say like coffee house jazz yesterday. And all of a sudden, like, it just started going kind of off. And it's doing it right now. What they're doing is like, it's this kind of the synth wave distortion, like the ribbon distortion. And I think they were trying to copy that with jazz piano. And it's just like I'm sitting there, I'm like, are my ears broken or is everything out of tune now? What's happening? It's really strange. But it just started doing that in this song, and I got that same kind of like woozy feeling. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. What's happening?
Not right.
Just the tape. Just the tape. It's gonna break. Tension's wrong. MIDI distortion. I can't remember exactly what it's called.
Yeah, me neither. I am old enough to have experienced what you're talking about, but I never listened to a lot of music, so.
What should I do for dinner tonight? That's the real question.
It's definitely a soup day where I'm at, just based on the weather.
Potato leek soup.
You know what? I might do soup. That might be good. I've been perfecting my egg drop soup recipe.
Mmm.
I'll try it with shallots today. I usually buy
I've
shallots.
never gotten my egg drop to make the noodles correctly.
You put noodles in egg drop soup? Or
No,
you mean
like
the swirls?
Yeah, the egg swirls. Yeah, the egg ribbons. I've never been able to get that correct.
The trick, one, you have to let the soup be boiling first. And then the trick that I do is I whip the egg up, but I don't fully blend it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you leave it kind of, I'd say like 75% mixed. You have to get it consistent enough that it's not just gonna like bloop, right? But
right.
You don't want it to be a homogeneous orange like you do for scrambled eggs.
Okay, that's probably where I'm going wrong, because I do full scramble.
And then when I start doing I stir the soup really, really fast, and then I have to you use like a spoon or a fork to kind of shake the egg out of the bowl so it doesn't plop again.
Right.
So it's kind of a weird combination of the two, but yeah, it seems to work out pretty well. I never know what to make druids wear.
Nothing. We wear nothing.
We just get kicked off YouTube here for drawing dragon nipples.
I don't think YouTube will have a problem with dragon nipples. That's Twitch. Twitch doesn't like nipples.
They can wear a kilt and a sash.
I was thinking about that the other day when I was drawing this dragonborn. It's like, are dragonborn cursed people? In which case, yes, they should look like people. Or are they lizard folks, which I don't think should have tatas, I guess is what we can say. What's the YouTube approved jubbly bits?
I don't know. I like that. I want to. Well, this scientific terminology would be secondary sexual characteristics, but
we'll go with that for right now.
It's got the word sexual in it, so I don't think YouTube would like it.
Dear YouTube Community Content Advisory Board, what word should I use to describe dragon tatas? Please advise.
There. I think I'm really proud of this hand and these crystals.
Weird.
Both of which are hard things to draw.
You drew a druid holding a crystal, and I drew a crystal holding some spores. Things have gone off the rails. No, I think that's pretty good. Probably a good place to call it as well. Go check out that video. Share it with a friend. At least click on it, just so the YouTube algorithm thinks like, hey, people want to see this. Let's cheese it. Cheese the system. But, legally. I guess that's the difference between cheesing and cheating, right? Like, I'm not technically cheating.
I'm just exploiting a weakness within the system.
I'm doing everything right.
Now we see the violence inherent in the system. Help, help, I'm being repressed. Sorry. I can't pass up an opportunity to say a Monty Python quote.
Yeah. All right, I think we'll call it there. Thanks again for watching, everybody. It was a lot of fun today. We'll probably continue this on Friday. That's all I got. I don't know much else. Go watch the video. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, it's great.
Excuse me. See if we can find
Rook doesn't pay me to say that, so you know it's true.
It's just weird if I comment on it. I know it's great. Thank you. I never know how to take compliments. That's a great shirt. Thank you. That's why I bought it. Damn it. Just say thank you and walk away. I doubt we can. Redirect ad. Anybody around? Nope. Oh, okay. Thanks again, everybody. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. We will catch everybody on Friday when we continue this onward. Tomorrow we'll be on Twitch working on the commissions. And yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got. Hope your weather is doing well. And if not, stay warm, stay safe. We'll catch you later. Bye, everybody.